Why let subscriptions, credits, and limits dictate your creativity? With Talking Photos V3, you can create unlimited lip-synced animations, bring characters to life, and even clone voices without breaking the bank. Let's dive in and disrupt the norm.
Hello, everybody. This is Paul Pona. I'm super excited to talk about Talking Photos V3, the brand new update. Yes, we did the V3 update prior. We've seen some updates we made, but this one has a whole lot of new features I want to talk about. So the first one I want to talk about is the dancing V3 feature. So let me actually go in and actually share my screen here real quick, and I'll show you where it is located, and you should be seeing it in your account right away. Okay, so let me actually pull it up here, and then I'll show you how to use this feature as well and how it exactly works. All right. So this feature is right here. When you actually go into the application, you'll see something called Dancing V3. All right. So this is the brand new feature. So you just toggles up and you see more features now in your Talking Photos AI application. So every user should have this right here. So now you go in and let's click on this one. So now how this works is that before with the Dancing V3, if you went in through, for example, the replicate motion feature, which was this feature right here, one of the problems with this feature was that, hey, we hear you, is that when you pick it, it asks you to upload a video, right? You got to upload a video that you find, which is a dancing video that it will replicate and try to basically replicate the motions, right? In this case, dance and stuff. In this particular case, it's a little bit different. What is different here is that you don't have to actually pick. You already get a bunch of motion templates, so to speak, or motion ideas. If you go in here, so these are all the examples you see right here, right? So you can pick from these, okay, from any image, and then you can turn it into a dancing video. And of course, the beauty here is you can put your own songs, and then on top of that, you'll see here 30 seconds. I'll talk about how you can create a very long length video to fit a whole song as well, using our new update we made to a merger technology as well, which is right about here. So a lot of things to cover. So let's go step by step here, okay? And I'll show you the video with myself as a cartoon character as well first. Then we'll go to the next stage, okay? So the first things first, let's say go here. You're going to go into Dancing V3 again. So right here, Dancing V3, you click this option. And then when you go there, you're going to come into a page that looks something like this. It's going to ask you for aspect ratio, 9:16, which is the vertical, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts format, right? For mobile devices mostly. And this is actually more like, I think 75% of content consumed is in this format, right? Because when somebody actually puts up their phone like so, they're actually watching it this way, right? Not this way. You understand? This is 16:9 when the phone is in this way. When it's vertical, that's 9:16. Okay, just for reference. All right, so click on character. Now here you can generate any character, or you can use any character that was used in the past. So this is a new feature we've added. So going back, I'll show you. You go here, you can click create new character. And then when you create the character and the video is created, you can reuse it as well. That's something that we have done pretty cool. Now here, let me show you an output of the video, and then you'll see how the output looks like. Then I'll show you how I created the an input here. Okay, straightforward. So first things first, while that is being created, let me just show you how you can convert yourself into a 3D cartoon, for example, right? So you go click mail and generate character, and then you can click 3D cartoon. In here, you have options, right? You can choose from media library any of the images that you have. Let's say, for example, I have myself here. You want to do that, you can do so, something like this. And then you can turn this person, right? So for example, you can say, this man is wearing a hoodie and cargo pants. Let's say, that's as an example, right? Or whatever it might be, right? And then you generate the 3D character style of my photo or any photo, right? So now it's going to turn your realistic photo into 3D. So let me show you an output of this. So while this is getting generated, so it's actually going to show you, it's pretty cool. So it's like this, check this out. And let me play it.
I love you more than the light of the moon. Oh, baby, baby, won't you be mine tonight? This feeling's right, everything's so bright. Holding you close beneath the street light. You're my one true love, honey, shining so bright.
All right, pretty cool, right? So how this works exactly is, you see, I turned myself into a cartoon character and made him dance, right? So if I go back, and I mean, let me show you
The
here.
feature
Let me
update that
remove
we
this one right
made
here,
is
and
to
then I'll show you,
singing
for
V3.
example, how this whole thing works. Oh yeah, watch this right here. And then let's add this in here. Okay, so you see this? I put the man is wearing a hoodie and cargo pants. It's going to turn it into a 3D version of my face. And then now you go, you have the image right here. And of course, you can play around with it, really. I mean, you can even say the man is wearing cargo pants and a sweater, right? You can do even that up to you. I mean, you can you can just play around with it. It's gonna create a cartoon variation of that. This is a new update we've done. So in the past, to convert your character into 3D, sometimes it looked way too different than you. You know, it didn't look like you. Especially if you were multiple ethnicities, maybe you were not blonde, blue-haired person, or whatever it might have been, which is a very generic character style of a generic stock image, let's say, right? So in this particular case, you see that right here. So it looks like you. You can even download this. You see in the download button on the right. You can do that. So now when you go next, this is what we did as a new update, okay, with the dancing V3. So you see generate motion, okay? The generate motion right here, it gives you the choices. So if you go in here, it gives you the choices to pick up here, okay? Now, like so. And so now you can pick any one of these styles, and we're going to keep adding more and more of them as time goes on. So now this will allow you not to have to find anything out there. You guys can pick ones that are already existing. Is that clear? So now you like anything. In this particular case, what I chose was the dancing V4 and also this dancing 22 is the two choices I showed you in the demo earlier. Okay, you click next, and then here is another cool thing we've done. Okay, small little details matter, right? So let's say, for example, you want to upload your own song, or remember, you can even use the clone voice music, right? So in here, one thing I wanted to mention real quick is that in here, one of the things is like when you have a song, right? So let's say, for example, you pick a song as an example. Let's say this is a Viking song or a romantic song or whatever, doesn't matter. Let's say a song about romantic relationship, doesn't matter. Click select. And then you see what we did here, where we've added, as you can see here, something called trimmer. Okay, it's a little button right here, right beside the play and the X button, right? So let me zoom this in a little bit so you can see it even more easier. So this trimmer, when you click on it, it's going to open up this little window. Now, why is this important? Many times when a song is starting, in the beginning, you just have instrumentals, right? You don't have somebody singing, especially in the first maybe 5 seconds or something like that. So in particular, in this particular case, what happens is, let's say we have this particular sequence is about 29, 30 seconds because we want it to render quickly, right? I'll show you how you can create like a full 4-minute song. Don't worry about that in just a bit with the merge video functionality. But the point is, let's say here, in this particular case, let's say the vocal part starts somewhere here, okay? This part right here. In the beginning is just an instrumental music, which is very common for almost most of the songs, right? So what happens, what you can do is you see the little icon in the beginning. I have this little icon that'll move things around. See this? So I can move this to start wherever I want it to start. Okay. And then the second line, okay, again, pay close attention. This is line number 1 and this is line number 2. Okay. This is the start and end. All right. So now line number 1, line number 2. So what I'm doing is I'm making it start halfway or wherever I want, wherever the vocals are starting or wherever the interesting parts of the song are starting, let's say, okay? And then I can move this around and you see the clock is also moving along here. So it will kind of guide you here because one of the things that people were saying, and I feel you, I know, is that, hey, you know, I want to have the ability to pick where the song starts and where the song ends for my dance moves and also whatever it might be, right? And then I want to also know if it exceeds, so I can create a fade out. So watch this, watch this. It's still gray, right? Pay close attention to this section right here, okay? This part, okay? Watch what happens. It's gray right now. It's going to become red. There you go. You see it became red? What that means is that your audio file has exceeded the motion template motion style. So that was a 28-second, let's say, video. It's exceeded. So you want to keep it underneath that. Again, it's going to go back to gray. You see this? Easy, right? And then what you can do is then you do this use fade out option. Fade out allows you to kind of make it a little bit more natural. It's so that it's not an abrupt end. Okay. Fade out is good for that purpose. Click on it and then you click on apply. Okay. Now you can save that song for later use if you want, that portion, so that it'll show up under your My Media and when you're picking up the songs. Okay. And then you click next right here in the bottom and you give it a name. So let's say, for example, this gets Paul Cartoon Dance video part 1. Okay. And why part 1? I'll tell you that right now. This is part 1. So what you could do is while this is getting generated, and I'll show you something cool here. Okay. That was basically the point. So what you could do is I'll go back to my videos right now. I'll show you. Okay. So you see how I created some variation. Actually, I'll show you here. See, I've created this variation, right? So you see this one right here, this version. So I'm going to be talking to my different windows here just because I've done a little bit examples here to speed up the demo process for you. So now you can, once a video is done, you can clone it. Okay, that's the other update we've done. So this cloning aspect, where if you click on this clone, click on this. All right. Now here, let's say you want to change the dance motion or you want to not change. So you see this? I can pick another dance movement here. Okay. Again, what did you do? So you're not having to recreate the character again, which is, and you can keep the character consistent, meaning the clothing style. And you can do everything the same. I'm only changing the motion. Now, what happens here? Click next. Now, you see the same thing. If I click on the same song, you see song about romantic relationship. I can click on it, go next, and I can now again use the trimmer, okay? And then I can tell it, hey, begin from 31 seconds in, right? So you can go here. So let's say, for example, my first variation was the first 28 seconds, right? So I can go here and I can start exactly at 28 seconds where the previous part ended and this part starts if I want to do it for the whole 3-minute video. The problem with 3-minute video is, unfortunately with TikTok and stuff, they don't allow, or they don't perform well, even if they allow 3.5 minutes type of stuff. Most of it is under 1 minute. So let's say, for example, what you can do is like this one starts at exactly 29 seconds in like so, and ends about here, right? So like it's just under the 60-second mark, right? So this is what we like to call P2, let's say part 2. Okay, so this will make that just under 1 minute video if you want to merge it together, right? So click on apply. I'll use the fade out again here. Okay, always good to have that. This makes it a bit better. And then you can save this part if you want. So now what did I do? I cropped it from 29 seconds to about 55 seconds or so. Okay, so now click next. And then I'll say part 2. Okay, click generate. So now what's going to happen is you have 2 videos being created. Then let's say you want to generate it as one, because again, speed of generation is what matters here. What we found out internally with tests is like it takes a lot longer. Hallucinations happen once you start creating videos beyond 30 seconds. That's why if you notice from platforms, let's say like Kling, which is the only other platform which does this properly, where you can give it an image and it does dancing, they limit you under 30 seconds. This is the same reason why, right? Because it starts hallucinating beyond that because of how the diffusion process, how the video creation process works. Anyway, so once you're done, let's say you go back here, all you have to do, you see this part 2 is being created and I have part 1. You just go into this section called merge videos right here, okay? And then you click merge videos. And then I'll show you another update we've done here, okay? Which is pretty cool because remember I showed you how to crop it and I showed you the trimmer. Like let's say, for example, I'll draw this out for you, okay? So you understand what I'm talking about. So let's say this is the timeline, right? Of a 1 minute file, right? So let's say, for example, this is 1 minute, correct? And I told you, okay, so for example, up until here, let's say, is part 1. And then the second one is part 2, correct? Now, for you to be able to perfectly align, like, for example, this is 28 seconds and this is another, I'm going to crop this again and I'm going to start from 29 seconds all the way to, say, I don't know, 58 seconds or something like that. Too much work, okay? So what we did here is that you click on videos, add video. It's going to pick the video that is working here, correct? So let's assume this is part one is right here. And then part 2 is right here. Okay, part 2. This is one right here. Click select. Now, what you can do is, you see this is about 46 seconds long. Click next. You see how it has this option called replace audio? That means you don't have to do that cropping and everything. It's going to merge both of the dance videos. Okay. And now you can actually use the original audio, the song. No need for you to crop and stuff. So click on it, go to import audio. Boom. Now here I go back to that original audio, right? The song. And then let's say this song is whatever it is, right? And you click on this and you select, and boom, now it's going to play the whole song. And you can even do the trimmer here, by the way, like I can cut it wherever I want to, right? So for example, I will cut it exactly wherever it ends, that video length of 46 seconds, right? So it's starting at 0 seconds. So pay close attention here. Starting at 0 seconds here. And then I'm going to make it end somewhere here, right? This is going to end somewhere here, something like that. So now watch. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back here. Like so, there we go. Okay, something like this until that gray thing, this gray part becomes red. I'm going to keep doing that. Okay, so now I have that done. I'm going to apply. I'm going to use fade out option here just to be where it's going to fade out in the end of an abrupt close. I'm going to apply and then click save. So this way, what happens is, even if you want to do a 2 minute or a minute, minute and a half, 3 minute, whatever, you don't have to worry about abrupt cuts. You don't have to worry about all that stuff. It's going to look smooth, right? And then I'm going to say, for example, Paul dancing V3 complete with replaced audio. So you understand. Okay, that's how I'm going to name this thing. And then I'm going to click on this button called right here. It's just, you see right here, which is merge videos. You see that? That option right there. So now what I'm going to do, click on merge videos and boom. Does that make sense? So now basically where you initially, this is the problem with all tools. They all have these amazing demos, but when you actually want to use it, it sucks. Why does it suck? Well, it sucks because you can create a longer length video. Try doing it. You can go into other platforms out there like Kling or other tools out there. They allow you to create one video at a time. And then it looks cool, like for a demo, like somebody's, some influencer posted on Instagram, YouTube, whatever, it looks cool, but it's only 10 seconds. When you really want to use it, you need to say a minute long, a minute and a half. There's no capability. So we've introduced that capability because we feel the pain, right? And so pretty cool. Does that make sense? This is the update that we made where the whole thing comes into place. So what do I mean by the whole thing? What I mean by that is, one, now you can create dancing, okay, with pre-existing moves, okay? Existing moves. And moves mean dance moves or templates, whatever you can say. Second thing we've done is the ability for you to trim. Okay, if you want to generate just a 30-second or 25-second, whatever you want to do, you can trim stuff if that you want to do. Okay. Third thing is, let's say you don't want to do trimmed, you wanted to actually create multiple parts, right? Multiple parts. You can create that too now. Multiple parts. So meaning you can create part 1, part 2, part 3. And then fourth thing is, you don't have to worry about where this trimming part is cutting, because you can't calculate the milliseconds. It's a mess. So what you're going to do is you're going to replace the audio back with the original song. Okay, that means you don't even have to trim if you want a long length video to be made. Okay, so you're going to replace audio / music. I'll just put music. Okay, so this is the workflow. Makes your life easy. Let's say you wanted to create. So like, as you can see here, pretty quickly it finished, right? You see this finished right here, this video. So now what that means, in other words, is if I play this here, let me show you while this is playing. There you go. You see this? It's going to be the entire, let me put it right here. It's going to be entire 46 seconds. Pay attention to the clock there in the bottom. You'll see 46 seconds, right? So you see this. This is the workflow. So that means now you don't have to worry about effectively worrying about like, hey, I'm just creating these 25-second clips, whether it's Kling or whatever tool I'm using, I'm stuck. So here you can actually create that whole thing, actually make it usable, which you can actually post and stuff like that. So that's number one. Okay. Now, this is the new update we've done. All right. Now, this also, by the way, applies with realistic. See, I showed you cartoon, right? It also works with realistic dance videos. What I mean by realistic is, I'll show you some examples here. And again, pretty straightforward. So you can go here, I'll show you some examples. You see like stuff like this. right here. You can do it even with like realistic. So imagine this could be any photo, turn it into a realistic video. Again, with the pre-existing dance moves, same logic. Instead of using 3D, you're going to use basically human. Okay. So if I clone this, I'll show you how this works. So let me actually pick up this clone button for this video, this one right here. So all you go in here, I'll clone it. I'll show you. There we go. What was the selection point here? So in here, the character was generated and then it was a realistic character. Okay, or a photo of mine, which was human. So in other words, I'll show you first here how this would work. Simple stuff. You go into Dancing V3, get Dancing V3, all right? And then you click on this. And then what you would do is you're just gonna pick any one of these templates. Vertical is much better here because of the way we are trying to structure it, and it generates better results. So here, in this particular case, you see there's a female male option. So now here you can pick. So for example, if it is female and human style, I would just pick from any media library and have so many other images, right? I can pick any images from my media library. I can upload it. You get the point, right? So I can pick an image like so, and I can make her the character, right? So let's say this is a female, and I can say the woman is wearing a red salsa dancing dress, right, in front of a brick wall, as an example. That's something like this you would create. Now you generate her as the human character, not 3D. That's also another option. So you have two choices here. And now everything I mentioned so far with my photo works. Okay, same logic. You can now create it. You can now trim it if you want. You can now create multiple parts. You can pick different dance moves, and then you can effectively merge them together and then replace the audio, stuff like that. Okay, so this is the basic workflow of this option. So that means effectively you can create longer length dance videos now. You can create it to match an entire song. Let's say the song is 2 minutes long, you can do so. The song is 2.5 minutes long, you can do so. Yeah, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. Okay, in the dancing side of things. Okay, so pretty powerful. Hope this is giving you ideas on how you can achieve it. Now, this is the question I'm seeing. Can you use a YouTube video as reference or didn't you upload it? Always upload it. The problem is that YouTube, when we tried to link it to the YouTube video, they keep blocking us. That's why we stopped it. So just download the video. There's a lot of YouTube downloads out there if you want. Get it, and then you can use that. We just don't want to get into the business of like using some weird, like systems to get that YouTube video to download internally, and we get blocked by Google and stuff. It's just a mess. So here, there we go. You see this? It generated her in that red dress. Same workflow, same logic. And then you click next. And now you can pick one of the templates. That's it that we have here. So let's say I like this one, or I like this one, or whatever, right? I'll just pick the most dance number 40. This one I'll pick, okay? I'll pick this, click next. And then now again, you can pick any audio you can upload or use one of the music files here. Doesn't really matter. I can click this one right here, Baker Girl and a Cat video. And then I can, again, crop it. Let's say I can make it begin at 10. You get the point, right? Same logic. I can use fade out, pick the first 30 seconds, whatever it is, apply fade out. And then I click save. You get the point. And then click next. And I give it a song, say Baker Girl dancing video, right? Whatever. I can save in part 1 if you want. Okay. And then click render. Same logic. So now it's human, realistic. Okay. Now that's the other one. So now in terms of what you were asking, the earlier question was reference video upload. So that would work not in this step. Okay. It would work in this replicate motion step. Okay. So it's very important to understand the difference. So in Dancing V3, what we did is you don't have to upload. Okay. You just pick a template. Okay. Pretty straightforward. Now here is where you need to upload. Does that make sense? Upload a reference video, we like to call it, right? Meaning, in other words, example video, right? Example video. Does that make sense now? So here is where you would say what you just mentioned here, Bethany, right? This is where you want to do that. Does that make sense? All right. So in other words, here is where you come in, you would upload the video and you do that. And that was already there before. The new one is where you don't have to do that. It's just a little bit more messy and stuff like that. And a lot of people don't know how to download something, don't know how to use it and all that. So we've just created, and we're going to start building more of them from here on. Okay. So that's the basic idea of this feature. Now, The other feature, and by the way, just because some people will ask me, how did Bethany, how would she work on this workflow? Same thing, in case you didn't watch the other ones. So you pick that. So let's say you picked this older, well, I wouldn't say older, but the past update. This was the our past update. This is the latest one, right? Dancing Me 3. But you want to replicate motion. Let's say you go and you click done in dancing option here, okay? And then here under the choose motion, right? Once you went through all the steps, here's where you could basically upload a video for an example video here. Okay, that is how the old system worked. Still works great, but if you want it where you don't have to even worry about it and you have a pre-existing bunch of stuff that we've optimized already, we've made it better and it works right out of the box. Meaning, for example, sometimes what happens is you have dance move where the person moves out of the frame and very difficult for AI to track it. Sometimes the person is facing backwards, so you can't track their facial expressions and stuff. That's also not fun. Okay, stuff like that. All right. Then we have version, well, the next version update we've done is a new feature called automatic talking mode. We've updated this heavily because, see, one of the issues right now across the board with every single lip sync based application is, especially when they do image to video, is they charge you credits, and then once you go above a certain limit, they block you, they throttle you, this and that, right? So in other words, if I go into, say, for example, human talking video, or I'm doing a 3D talking video, whatever it might be, one of these options, let's say a human for the time being, I go in here, we've added a new option called high quality. What this does, high quality, is it focuses completely on the lip sync aspect of things, okay? Making sure the lip sync is as good as possible. And then when you click on it and you go here, you have 16:9, 9:16 options, of course, as with everything. You can now even choose previous characters. So if I go in here and I choose a previous character, let's say this guy right here, okay, wearing a very, a suit is ready to go on an interview for, all right? And I'm making fun of myself just for reference, all right? So, all right. So now when you pick that prior character that I created, you can also generate an AI character, or, you know, change the suit or clothing, all that stuff. So what we did differently here is that we use the automatic mode. In that particular case, actually, because I already created the character, it shows that way. But let me go in step by step. So you go to human video, high quality, and you do 16:9. Let's create a new character. And so what we did is that when you pick that option, it allows you to effectively generate a high quality video from the get-go. If you notice something interesting, you see here, it goes straight to choose audio. Okay, let me explain that, why we did this. So let me go back again. If you go to create video, human video, same thing. In the past, okay, in the previous update, you picked this option. Only one option existed at that point. And then you clicked on this. Watch what happens. You can come in here and it says, you see right here on the top, let me show you this again. You see this choose motion option on the top? This existed in the past. Now, when you click on that, let me show you one sec. It had these motions, right? Prior motions. And honestly, I want to move away from this, because the main problem is when you go in the motions side of things, the lip sync becomes secondary to us than to actually make sure that the motion is replicated, the motion is similar to the actual action, right? And sometimes what happens because of that is lip sync quality could suffer. You're more worried about the motion and all that, especially for longer length videos, particularly you're doing a 3-minute, 5-minute video, for example. So what we wanted to do is, instead of just telling you all to go use no hand movements option for cases like this and still not being fully satisfied with the result, instead we created a high quality version, like what we did with the singing in the past. So the cool thing with this option, okay, which is what we're naming the automatic mode effectively, is where you go into create video, go to human video, it's called the high quality mode, which is actually the automatic mode effectively. You click next, and then you see here, you go into 16:9 or 9:16, whatever, and you choose a previous character. Let's say you created the character like so, like me here, and or in this particular case, this character right here, doesn't really matter, any one of them right here. Let's even say I created her. And you can create any audio can be uploaded here. You can use it to clone voice, any video, any audio you wanted to create with your cloned voice. It could be an imported audio, right? You can import it from your own computer or from generated somewhere else. You get the point. You can use text to speech, up to you. You have multiple choices here. Okay. And you can do that too. You can upload it too. And then you can upload it from your computer and click next. And what it will do is automatically, based on the environment, based on the image, based on, where that, like how the image lighting is, right? It's going to pick the automatic breathing and facial expressions and stuff like that, and make sure that the lip sync is as good as possible. So for example, if I show you here, this is an example. Okay, my audio, I'm going to actually show you this too. Let me download this and show you this automatic mode example. Let me play this right here as an example. Again, I did it in like 2 seconds. So it might not be perfect, but you'll get the concept here, okay? And it'll work even better when you do it properly with like an AI generated image or like a higher quality version of your image and stuff like that. But you just check this out right here. This is from an uploaded audio, by the way. I'll show you.
Paul, and in this video, I wanted to show you how easy it is to use Talking Photos AI to literally upload any audio or use text to speech to create videos like this with emotions, hand movements, where you can change the hair color, the eye color, the clothing, the backgrounds, anything you want with just a few clicks of the mouse.
All right, pretty cool. Especially with clone voice integration, where, for example, you're cloning your voice, you want it to focus a lot on the lip sync. Now, the beautiful part about this one, and we're going to keep improving this even more going forward, is that now it gives you the capability, especially with that merger feature I showed you earlier, effectively you can create 30-minute videos, an hour videos and stuff of you talking and doing so. Because one of the things that we've noticed a lot of users were using Talking Photos for was trying to create, say, educational videos of you creating, let's say, a topic, right? Talking about a topic at hand, and you have part 1, part 2, part 3, and it becomes messy when lip sync is the main critical focus. You want that breathing effect, that natural effect and stuff like that. You want to create yourself in different environments and stuff. Right? So this was the main reason why we've done it this way. Now, I wanted to kind of show you, to juxtapose this against a lot of things out there, because sometimes I tell people stuff and they kind of don't understand how cool this feature is, especially because of how much effort went into making sure that the longer length effect is what we were aiming for, correct? So let me actually go in. You can do this too, by the way, in your own end. Watch this. This platform is called Fal.ai. This is where they bring all the so-called best, models and AI algorithms out there. So let's say you put lip sync here. Okay, so let me show you here. So let's just sync React, apparently, Lip Sync Pro. What are the other one? Kling also has a lip sync where you give it audio to video, and then I think image to video is very rare generally on the lip sync side. But let's see, most of it is video to video, you see here. Image to video, not that many available right now. But let's assume even here you want to do audio to video on this one, something like this, where you give it an audio and then it'll do it. The problem is, you see that the costs add up once you start doing a ton of these. Especially here, you see it's 1.5 cents per video second, rolling to the closest 5-second increment. So if your duration is 3 seconds, it'll be a 5-second video. In other words, it's going to cost you about 8 or 9 cents. Okay, so just about 1 cent per video means 60 seconds will be 60 cents, and then it'll keep getting added over, right? And so in other words, it comes to just around $1 per minute. Okay, and in this particular case, this one right here is $10 per minute, because again, it's trying to add that lip sync focus. And this one right here, which is the more zoomed in style, is $5 per minute, right? This is the problem right now. With lip sync situations, it's very expensive to do it because there's a lot of algorithms you have to run behind the scenes, a lot of whatever mumbo jumbo stuff, right? So what you wanted to focus on is just that scenario. Want to create a video like this, and it's only going to get better and better. Like this, let's assume a zoomed in video focused on the lips. Let's say that is what this is all about. And it's image to video too. And here's the best part. I left the best for the last, okay? So now, watch this. Here, and pay close attention to this. You see here, I generated this video, correct? I generated this video, okay? Now, you see there is a clone option right here, meaning you can reuse this exact same character, exact same clothing, exact same background, stuff like that. When you do cloning, it is going to be 5x faster, the generation time. So 5x faster generation time. So meaning what's happening behind the scenes is we've used something called AI memory, which is kind of like futuristic stuff. So what happens is when we have all this data from you, like we know, okay, you have this example, you created this character and stuff like that, instead of actually creating it from scratch the second time around, third time around, fourth time around, all that, we basically push this information to the NVIDIA GPU servers, automatically will store it. And then now it's going to say next time you clone it, it will not have to do a lot of these mathematical calculations again and again. So it'll just focus on the lip sync part alone and some of these components, right? So what happens because of this is effectively you can create really, really long length videos and not have to worry about waiting long with it. Okay. So that means once you create one character one time and then you use clone and then you give it more and more options, then effectively, like for example, you change the script or whatever, it's going to be 5 times as fast. Pretty powerful. You agree with me? So that means if I click on this cloned option right here, and you see right here, I'm going to choose the original motion. I don't change anything. Keep the original motion as is because I cloned it. Then you basically choose the audio. You go to the audio step like so, and then you change the lip sync, right? So you use text to speech, or you use clone voice's voice. You imported your own audio. Doesn't matter really, honestly. You can use whatever you want. You want to import an audio. I have like a bunch of audios here. So let's say I have these audios here, or I have my own voice recordings. Let's say this one was my recording. Anything like this, go next. And then now you click on this, for example, say fast mode. I'll just for my reference, right? So I'll just say basically let's say we're trying to copy the existing template, right? Duplicate the video. And then basically click generate. Now this was being generated because I reused the existing and cloned the existing project. It's going to be 5 times faster. So meaning, in other words, let's say it took you 20 minutes to do it in the past. It's going to be 5 minutes now. Understand? Something like that. So that is what we've done, because what we noticed is a lot of people are trying to do the same thing I mentioned, which is, hey, I got the character now. Just let me create a bunch of stuff. Everybody out there is basically charging me credits for lip sync. They're charging me by the minute. They're charging me in some cases where, example, it's image to video. They will say, okay, you know, I'll only support 2 or 3 or 4 of your images. You have to pay more for more images, right? So in other words, what they will say is, okay, you know, you want 5 images is your limit, let's say. So 5 images or photos, let's say, a better way to say it, is a limit. That's how other people, even if they say, okay, you can generate a longer length video, the problem is that they limit on the images and that you can use. So characters, let's say, is a better way to say 5 characters at once or whatever. That's the best of the best pricing, even on the recurring subscriptions. The other problem is like this, which I mentioned earlier, which is, hey, you come to our platform, we'll charge you by the minute like these people, or like charge you by the second like these people. Then what happens? Many cases you want to create a training video, or let's say you want to create a video where, you know, you don't want to be, you're not comfortable in front of the screen. You want to just type something and generate a video with lip sync with you on it, for example, or some character. You can create very quickly once you generate. And the beauty here is if I go back to my videos, any one of these characters, you can generate as many characters as you want, which is even more powerful. Doesn't limit you in number of characters, right? That's another critical thing that I want to mention here, because we thought through this stuff, and this is more valuable than anything else because you don't have to limit your mind on what you can or can't do, for example, right? So basically that is the other update we made. So to summarize, update number 1 was, you see the bottom, new feature, Dancing V3. Dancing V3, you'll see it exactly here under Dancing V3 options. Brand new feature that's available there. Where that thing excels is we've given you a bunch of pre-existing dance motions. And then underneath that, once you create it, you can merge, click on the merge videos, and then you can merge multiple dance videos. So let's say I have, see right here, Paul dancing part 1. This is Paul part 1. I have part 2, right? Say, for example, I can do part 3, part 4, whatever, right? And I can create 5-minute videos, 3-minute videos, 4 minutes, whatever I want. And then I can click next here, and then you see replace audio here means that you can put that original song all over again. No need to worry about hard cuts, jump cuts, this and that issues. It's very smooth. throughout. Okay, that is the first update. The second update, if I push it up here, is the automatic talking mode. That's under, if you go and create video under human video, that is under this. It's just under high quality. Okay, this is the option. It was not there before. Now that means that it only focuses on the close-up lip sync with you on there. And then every time you do the second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever clone of that project, of that character that you created once, it'll be 5 times faster to generate. That means effectively, if you think about it, right? So go back to the merge video option. You have me talking, okay, right here. Okay, let's say this is the one, me talking. I can select this. I can select any amount of videos. You understand what I'm saying? So you can do that. So any amount of videos can be created here. You can sync them together and put them together, even in the talking scenario. So that's also super powerful because it allows you the ability to create very long length videos and not be worried about limits or credits and all this mumbo jumbo stuff. Okay. And keep in mind, okay, one of the things here is that not only is this update free for talking photos existing customers, you got it a year ago, you got it a month ago, you got it 6 months ago, it doesn't matter. The other thing is, with this AI memory technology we're talking about, which I wanted to mention here real quick. So when you come back here, let me show you. You see this right here, this clone thing, AI memory. As you create more videos, it's going to get smarter and smarter. Okay. That means, in other words, we're going to a future where once the AI gets it, like understands it after like maybe 10, 20, 30 tries you're doing, it depends on different features. What's going to happen is next time around, it's going to be much faster, much better quality, much more useful for you. And the other cool thing is that any updates we make to this algorithm and stuff like that, it's going to be even more higher quality, even better quality and stuff like that, which is where we're investing a lot of our resources in right now, with this concept of memory. Okay, memory recall. Okay, it's almost like a movie where now you can basically have it recollects everything. And then with time, as it understands your uses, how you're using it and stuff, as you create more variations of something, it's going to be a lot more faster. Because what's happening is behind the scenes, let's say it had to do 10 different processes, it will see, oh, okay, I don't have to do 10 every single time. I'll only do 2. Well, that means it's 5 times faster, right? 2 instead of 10. So basic logic there. And then in the future, it'll be 1 out of 10, which means it's now 10 times faster. See? So that's the basic logic behind this. And with time, it's only going to get better and better with time. Okay. So those are the 2 features that we've done. Now, I'll be answering some questions as well. I want to talk about one other cool thing that we've done. Is basically we will be bringing this in the near term. You'll see in this account. So for example, you'll see this import from Artistly thing right here. We've added this new feature in. We've just added it. So for those who are actually Artistly users, you can actually click here. And then you can bring in your Artistly. So it says, please enter your API key in your profile. So I will be doing a tutorial on this, and I'll be posting it into our tutorials page down here. So you click on this tutorial section, and it will show you how to integrate with Artistly. Okay, that's the next thing we're going to be talking about, along with all the stuff I shared with you, obviously, as you can see. Now, what is unique here is that many times folks who are Artistly users, you have images you've created in the past, consistent character images, cartoon characters, whatever it might be. You want to bring those images in. We allow you to do that. So you see it says 16 by 9 and 9 by 16 is supported. So just make sure that it's within these aspect ratios, because we are creating videos on those aspect ratios, right? Vertical and horizontal. So how that would work is under your profile, you'll have the ability to create like take a API key from your Artistly account that is there in your Artistly account, and you bring it into Talking Photos and you connect both effectively. Okay, same thing like we've done in the past with clone voice integration or video express integration, same logic. That will be, I'll be showcasing this as well in the tutorials page in the coming days. So watch out for that. The reason why I want to do like a special training on this is because there's some things to keep in mind here. Let's say, for example, 2 people in one scene is not going to work, right? With lip sync, because you're giving one audio here and stuff like that. So some things to keep in mind that I'll mention. Then you see this add subtitles, add watermark, and replace background also there. These are already in your account. So you can go into the tutorials page and test these. So add subtitles, meaning you can add subtitles to your videos. okay, for captions and stuff like that. And then watermark is you want to, let's say you're doing it for client projects or something like that. You can watermark a video, and then when they pay you, that's when you're going to basically effectively remove the watermark, okay? And replace background is where, for example, you wanted to kind of, let me show you. You add a video and then you want to replace the background of that video to another background. This is how the replace background feature works. I would suggest to use this in cases where, for example, you want to use this replicate motion feature, and then say you have a video which has like weird backgrounds that you want to replace to a more solid background, because there's too many people moving in the background or too many people or whatever, cases like that. You can definitely use this for replicate motion use case in particular, where you're bringing in your own videos and having the characters and the images have those motions of those prior, example images and videos, okay? And then the other one is, you see, there's a feature called resize video. So when you click on this, this will ask you for to leave us a review to get access to this one. It's basically where, and again, I'll be greatly appreciate here asking for it, but the main problem we're facing these days is that a lot of AI platforms and a lot of competitors of ours and all these guys who are venture-backed companies were effectively, trying to compete on a subscription or credit-based system. Like imagine a case like this, where somebody's charging $10 per minute, right? And they make a profit off of it, or $5 per minute, or let's say even 1 cent per second of video or whatever, right? Or 5 seconds video, whatever, doesn't matter. Point is like, it's about $1 per minute. Let's say in cases like these, like you see here, the problem is that effectively these people are competing against us and we're competing against them. So it's, it's they're getting so much pressure, unfortunately, with their investors and these venture capitalists and these private equity executives that I don't care. You got to destroy your competition, do it. I don't care, but you got to show us the numbers, right? The growth or whatever. And we're seeing a lot of, fake reviews and, just tarnishing our brand and stuff like that these days. So that's one thing where, it'd be greatly appreciated if you see that. It'll basically go into a page that looks like this. Basic stuff I'll show you actually. So you're going to go into a page that looks something like this. It's going to show you talkingphotos.ai/review. I'll show you. So it's going to be like this. The only feature is that video resize feature, and then you'll also get access to our affiliate program. As you can see here, it's simply going to say, hey, post a review on Talking Photos in Capterra. You link it with your LinkedIn account. It takes you 2 minutes. You see signing with your LinkedIn account. It's going to take you 2 seconds, and we greatly appreciate it. And then we'll unlock this feature. Just email our team. This is this one feature. What this does, by the way, this resize feature allows you to add bars, text, and image overlays and stuff like that for your videos. What that means is, this is useful for like cases where like you're posting educational content and stuff. So for example, if I go into tools, resize video, you click on add video, and I add this video, let's say, okay, of me talking. Click here. You see where it says 16:9, 9:16, and whatever. You can resize these into those dimensions. So let's say I do 1:1 as the square image. I go here. You see, it's going to cut my video. See, it's going to cut it to 1:1 right here, and click next. And 1:1 is your Facebook newsfeed, Instagram newsfeed, and stuff like that. And then you go here. You see here, you can add text like so, right? You can add any text in any color you want. You can add images in these. You get the point, right? You have like ability to add that. You can also add some other cool things, like for example, if you want to add images, you see you can bring in any image, like a logo element. See like this, you can add a logo. A lot of people were asking us before, can I add a logo for my image, right? For my video, sorry. You can add your logo like so on the top, and then you can click on this and render the video and stuff like that. So it allows you to quickly resize things and stuff like that. And if that was one example, you want to do it 16:9, you can do it like so. Just go back here. So then I click here, same logic, okay? It's a very simple feature, but very useful, where like you created a video and you want to use it for different platforms. Like Instagram has a dimension, LinkedIn has a dimension. All these platforms have different dimension, right? So that's the other feature that we've added in, for example. So basically, if you see here, what I want you to understand is like, when you come back, okay, to here, there's so many options it looks like, okay? We're talking photos. What I want you to understand is that every single one of them has been designed in a way for a specific use case, okay? That means, in other words, for example, you'll see here, like if this is dancing, we simplified it for the dancing use case. Okay, image to dancing video. So imagine this will be like photo to dancing video, right? And in this particular case, here what we did is photo to singing. Remember? So photo to singing. Pretty straightforward. Photo to singing. Now, in this particular case, we've done replicate motion is where like you can put a talking video, dancing video, or whatever. I'll show you one other update we've done as well is in this replicate motion talking video. So in the past, we've done it in a way where it's like nice, but sometimes the quality may not be as perfect for talking because lip sync, right? So what we've done, if you go to replicate motion, I'll show you here, and you click replicate motion again, and then speaking, okay? Replicate motion, speaking, this example, we've made the lip sync aspect of a video infinitely better. So for example, let me show you. So example 1 is the original video, and example 2 is the video that is being created, okay? Let me show you the workflow of this one so you understand how it exactly kind of works, comes to play. All right, so first I'm going to show you the original video, okay? This is an AI generated video, by the way. So I just want to show you this. Watch.
Today is your first day at life. Your life begins here, so stop waiting for permission.
All right, let me play this one more time. This is the original video. So let's say, for example, I want to swap the character, meaning I want to change the character, the lady here, to some other lady, and I want to change the background because let's say I want to put a, let's say a farm or something, right? Barn or something. So this is the original video. Again, let me play this and I'll switch it and I'll show you how the workflow would work in the application. Okay, this is, let's say, is the input video. So meaning this is the video we give it to change the character, the environment and stuff, but keep the voice the same, let's say. You can even change the voice if you want. But watch this, play this again, original video.
Today is your first day at life. Your life begins here, so stop waiting for permission.
Okay, perfect. She's moving, she's walking, and she's talking. Okay, now this is the video that was generated, okay, where we use the replicate motion feature. We gave this as the input video, and now what I'm going to show you is the output video, where I generated another image of a character, and then I changed the background as well of that character. Okay, so watch this.
Today is your first day at life. Your life begins here, so stop waiting for permission.
Yeah, I just did it two blonde women just so you can see how similar it looks. You can't even tell the difference, right? That one was the input, one was the output. So this is the output, and then the other one was the input video. So again, how do we do this? So let me show you this. This is the update we made the quality a lot better, and both for 16:9 and also 9:16. So again, let me show you input and output one more time. This is the video as an
Today is
example.
your first day at life. Your life begins here, so stop waiting for permission.
So this could be created with any application, doesn't really matter. Now this is the output.
Today is your first day at life. Your life begins here, so stop waiting for permission.
Pretty cool. So now how do we do this stuff? It sounds cool, but how? All right, so let's see here. So how you're going to do this is very straightforward. You go to create video. Okay, so you're going to go to replicate motion, this option right here. Okay, this one right here. And then you're going to pick that. And then you go to speaking. Okay, you see the speaking option right here. And then what you're going to do here, because lip sync being the critical component, you're going to click the lip sync option, the speaking option, sorry. And you're going to put 16:9. And then you're going to click there because 16:9 is the full horizontal. 9:16 is also fine. Doesn't really matter, honestly. And you know, 16:9. And then here you generate the character. So this could be an image that you're given, okay? Or you can be an AI generated image. Okay, up to you. Doesn't really matter. So in particular case, I can say in that particular case, this is an AI generated person, or I can even put myself in there, right? So I can say blonde, 25-year-old woman in waiting and well, standing in front of a barn and farm during sunset. Let's say this is the prompt, okay? So generate. So then it's going to generate. This is how I did it, okay? Where basically I generated an AI character and I wanted that AI character to exchange, if you will, into that other sequence, keeping the lip sync in mind. Okay. And the beauty here is, why is this useful? In many cases, right? Let's say, for example, this is the character, click next. Or you can even pick and create a consistent character, meaning like it looks like you, me, or some other character you already created. Doesn't matter. You can download this one as well. Okay. For example, you click next and you see here, there's two options. We have a replicate option, and then we have the swap option. Remember, if you recall, one of the videos had her in front of a farm field, something like that, grass behind her or whatever. And then one of them was the barn, right? The red barn behind. So in this particular case, if I want to change the background, I would do the replicate option. You see this? The replicate option. And then what I would do is I would also do the dynamic zoom. Why we do the dynamic zoom is that it helps a lot more in terms of like zooming in that person, focusing on that character, especially if there's a lot of movements and stuff, focusing on the lip sync. So here is where you see it says drag and drop the upload file. Like you see this one right here, this right here. And I'll get to some of your questions a bit. Okay. Get to some of your questions in a bit. Here's where I uploaded that video, that example video I mentioned. Okay. So what I did is I effectively took it and I uploaded that example video. So I took it, let me actually bring that in here for a sec, the original video. So the original video was just about, all right, so I'll drag and drop that thing for you, okay? So this was the original video, okay? So it's uploading right now. So this was the original video of that character talking. So for example, the original video was
It
this.
is your first day at life. Your life begins here. So stop waiting for permission.
So this was the original video, correct? So I want to basically use this as the example video. So that's the video that I've dragged and dropped, or I've basically used as an example. So if I remove this, I'll put this back in here. So you see this right here. It shows this video right here, the original video. Now, again, I can use that trim functionality even for the video. You see this? I have that trim. So meaning I don't like some part of that video, or I want to remove the first 10 seconds, whatever, right? Or first 2 seconds or whatever. You can trim it and you can do it as well. You can use the fade out effect, even for this, by the way. So it's also like an editor of that video that you upload. And then you can go in and then because I'm changing the background, I just replicate. If I don't want to change the background, I just use the swap functionality, this one right here, okay? But since I want to change the background, I'm going to pick replicate option and you click next. So you see it right here. There is an option. It says use voice changer to replace the audio. So this is where, for example, you want to change the voice of that person to sound like somebody else. You want to change the person to sound like, say, a particular voice tonality and stuff. You can use this option. So the benefit of this option is, in many cases, let's say you are putting an African-American person, or a Latino person, or an Asian person, and then you want to put a specific tonality or accent or style, like I'd say a better way to say style, pitch, tone and stuff. You'd want to put this option right here, and then you can choose sample audio. So this is where you upload an example audio of a person speaking, let's say, and it'll sound similar to them. So meaning normally are we changing the video, we're also changing the voice. Okay, so the character in the video, we're also changing the voice in the video. Okay, that's the beauty here. It's not going to be 100% perfect, by the way. I just want to explain, because what it's like, for example, if it's a male voice and a female voice, you're switching it to, it won't be that good. I say, for example, like it's just like a tonality, punctuation, the pacing and stuff like that. And the pitch, for example. So for example, if you're doing an Australian accent, let's just be the original video to also have Australian accent. And this video will also, this reference or this example sample audio you're giving also is better to have somebody speaking in Australian accent, just so that it looks as perfect as possible. You don't want to give AI too many complexities, because what happens then is, let's say Australian English is too fast, right? Very fast paced. And British English is a little bit slower. What happens is now you have a syncing problem, because your original video was 9 seconds. You want to make sure the lip sync is perfect, correct? So just make sure you understand some nuances of this voice changer. The only thing I would mention is that keep it as simple as possible. Don't try to change the gender of the voice. Don't try to change the accent way too much. Keep the original audio's accent. If needed, get an original video with that different accent if needed, okay? So I'll just leave it for now and click next. And then you can basically create like replicate motion video with different character copy. Okay, I changed the character basically. and then you can generate it. So that's how I created that video. So for example, I gave it an example video, then I gave it an example image that I AI generated image, or it can be mine, doesn't matter. And then now what I did is like I told it, okay, now you switch the character, switch the background, keep everything else, the voice and stuff the same, the movements the same, that kind of thing. Okay. Very useful. Let's say, for example, where you want to create a YouTube channel all your life and you're like, I don't want to be in front of the camera. I'd rather create an AI influencer who doesn't look like me, but can react, emote, whatever, the way I want to. And it's just some people believe, I don't know how true it is, that good looking people generally get more views. So maybe if you're too shy in front of the camera, you don't have that confidence in front of the camera, this is really good option, for example. Okay. So it allows you to create AI generated characters like so. You see what I have here? So I had one video this way, and then I have one person like this. I can just switch them around as I feel like it. And then it'll keep the lip sync pretty much accurate. Same logic here, same logic here. You see, these are the examples. Okay, so that's the other update that we've made. So in other words, we've simplified that process as much as possible. And again, even for this, by the way, once this video is generated, for example, you can even use the merge videos functionality, merge multiple videos. Okay, I want to address this point because we keep getting it so many times and I kind of repeat it, but sometimes I do see a couple of people asking me this question. The question is like, well, you know, I see replicate motion is 30 seconds is the limit max length for the video, or the dancing or whatever. The reason I want to mention this is not that we cannot do a minute or 2 minutes. The problem is once it goes beyond 30, the character starts hallucinating, the quality kind of suffers. There's these issues with AI right now, which will only get better with time, obviously, where it starts not being as good. The first 30 seconds is perfect. Then after 30 seconds is not as perfect. So instead, what we feel is, hey, generate the 30 seconds, we'll generate very quickly, and just merge that and make a longer length video using the merger video. Straightforward. It merges in like couple of minutes really, or a minute. And then we can now create a very long length video. And the beauty here is that you don't have to worry about hallucinations and blurry videos or the lip sync coming off. And 1 second the person is talking and then suddenly they move their head and they bobble their head around and it doesn't make any sense, right? Realism is everything. Okay. So, and this is basically the workflow I wanted to mention here. So now I'll answer some questions as well that I'm seeing as well. So if you have any questions, post them in as well, because I want to make sure I cover some questions, and then I'll talk about what's coming up and some of the other stuff as well. Okay. The question here was Sandra was asking, does this program has AI voice built in? Yes. So it works in 2 ways. All right. So for example, the first way is if you go in here, create video, you go to human video, let's say, and then you generate everything, right? The image and everything. And then you go to choose audio. Under choose audio, you'll see that says text to speech. So that's built in. So you can use the text to speech that is built in. The second option is you can record your own voice. Third option is you can import your own audio. And the fourth one, which we generally recommend, is this clone voice functionality. This is the one we recommend because this is our other application. Here in this particular case, the clone voice, the beauty is you can clone your own voices and you can bring it in here, whatever was done in the application. There's designer voices here where we have like 7,000 different voices here, creative voices, of characters that sound like a duck, or the character that is like an angry old man, or an ogre, or a princess. You get the point. So you can have those creative voices you can bring in here. If you see this like a detective voice or a news reporter voice, you get the point. So that's available here as well. So to answer your question, yes, we have different options, and you can use whatever you desire. Okay, up to you what flexibility you want. I would suggest you to get the clone voice integration, simply because you get more voices, you get your own voice cloning options, and also the other beautiful part is that clone voice also has music capability. Okay, so you can generate music or songs, right, with clone voice. So for example, if I go to create video and I go to singing V3 and I just choose audio, you see with this clone voice integration that I have here, you don't need another external tool, and the lip sync is perfect because we've made the lip sync really, really good because it's both of our own applications. We focus on the lip sync on the singing part. While you bring it from another application, it won't be as perfect as if it is from our thing, right? We do we spend a lot of time to make this work. So here you click on it, you see this, I create this Nordic song, Viking song, a song about romantic relationship. These are all music, AI generated music files generated with clone voice that I can import here and then add lip sync and stuff. So yes, to answer your question, That's the basic idea. All right. So question about what does unlimited text you mentioned. So what I meant is unlimited lip sync. Very important you understand. Unlimited text is a piece of cake. ChatGPT can do that. Writing text is easy. What I mean is lip sync. So you see these videos that we generated, like this one right here, this one right here, this one talking here. If I go into this other account of mine, if you go in here, you see this talking video right here. And then stuff like that. So these videos, you can generate as much lip sync as possible, because even in the singing and stuff, you can click on the merge videos and you can merge multiple videos, right? So you can create longer length videos and stuff like that. No other application does this for any price, by the way, whether it's recurring subscription, enterprise plans, whatever, they don't do it. The reason why they don't do it is cost a lot of money. Okay. So what I mean by unlimited text is I meant lip sync in particular. Okay. The idea of video generation, of course, you can create as many videos, but more so with lip sync being the aspect. Okay. Now, the other question that came in is, will you be able to sing in your own voice for the singing? So this is part of that clone voice update that's coming up. I did mention it's going to be released soon. We are kind of working on a couple of things to kind of make it better. So I want to mention this as well here. So with AI tools, right? What's going to happen, and I want to mention this because sometimes, it's so hard, like I want to release something quickly, and then what happens is like I want to make it as perfect as possible. So two things happen with AI tools in particular, and this is with talking photos, with clone voice, everything. So we have the base logic for cloning your voice to be able to sing, correct? So we have that base logic. So now you can sing, correct? Sing in your own voice, let's say, sing in your voice. So this is the base feature. One of the problems we do is, let's say me, I'm pretty, I would say, comfortable in front of the camera, pretty comfortable with talking, right? So if you tell me, okay, singing your own voice will only work if I record me singing, correct? Let's say Paul is singing in that thing and I had to give that. That works, for example. But then when we work with our beta testers, they're like, hey, I'm not a singer. I don't have any vocal abilities. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I just want to talk. Right? I just want to talk. I'll give you a simple reference of me talking, and then you generate the song in my voice. So now that adds an extra layer of complexity, right? Because when we release it and we saw it with our beta testers, everybody's mentioning this, and then 90% of your 70%, majority of you say, hey, I cannot sing. Just tell me I want to speak, and you create the song. Okay. You add the pitch, the tonality, all that kind of stuff. You do it. So that is something we're working on, for example. The other thing that happens is, like, as we're working on it, we also have, I don't want to brag or anything, but just being honest, we spent a lot of resources, a lot of money, time, energy in our own internal machine learning team. Okay. So if I say internal ML team, okay, machine learning, AI, whatever team. Okay. So these are like your, scientists, they call them like computer scientists, right? So ML team. So what this means is, like, when we are working on something like this, where we are trying to have a voice not singing, and then you want to basically have somebody just talk and then you convert it into a song. What we are noticing is that, like, these people, these brilliant people, way smarter than me, what they will figure out is like, hey, Paul, I found something interesting. Check this out. If we give, say, instead of only 10 seconds voice, we give 30 seconds, we found out that the song quality increases a lot. Hey, check this out. The other thing, if we ensure that the user in the application selects that they have a gender, right? Like male or female or some option, and we can basically add that into our memory, then it's a lot better, the quality. Or they're like, okay, check this out. A lot of the users are asking for, say, 3.5 minutes or 3 minutes or something like that. And right now we can only generate 1.5 minutes. I figured out how to do it. Just give me one more week to experiment, right? So a lot of these experimentations happen. Some work really well, some don't. Some we're 99% close. It might work perfectly for male songs, male voices, but not the female as much. There's so many components here, right? So this is a reason why what I say is, like, when we prioritize this, just give us that extra 10, 14 days, sometimes 20 days or whatever, considering there's no monthly fees and stuff like that. You're still getting the best tool, the best price, and also the best quality, because enhancements are happening every day. Revolutionary stuff is happening every day, and we're doing different layered stuff. Like, it's crazy. I can explain it to you some other time, right? But the point is, like, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff is focused on basically simply giving you two things always. Okay. High quality generation, right? High quality, most important thing. And at the same time, fast. We want to get it as fast as possible, fast generation, okay? And this is the reason why when we're focused on these two aspects, sometimes if it takes us a little bit longer, we want to give us our time ourselves so that we can release that and give it to you, okay? And I want to make sure that you understand this, because at the end of the day, we have to figure out all the edge cases and what will happen with this use case, and stuff like that. But rest assured, it's going to be coming. It's something that we are actively working on. It's something we already figured out. We're 99% done. Is our last 1%. You know, how do you make it better quality? How do you make it faster? How do we make sure that if it's a female voice, male voice, if it's somebody's voice is a specific way of pitch and tonality, somebody just talked, they didn't sing, all these variables, we're looking at that. And that applies for everything, by the way, okay? Not just in this particular case, sing your voice, but every feature. So that's why sometimes we want to give ourselves a little bit of time. I hope that is fair, right? Because you want to get the best quality. Why do you want to create something where you get it sooner, but then now it doesn't work that well? Okay. And now we have to tell you, okay, wait for another 10 days or something. So, and this is the problem across the board with all AI tools, is that then they're going to look good for demos to show. But when you're actually using it, oftentimes you realize, darn it, it's not that good quality. What's happening here? How did the demo look so good when me doesn't, right? And so because these companies out there, they're not focused on, let's say, different ethnicities for face recognition, let's say, or for voice cloning different accents, you know, not the top priority. Hey, just put the American accent, be done with it, because we want to show it in our demo quickly because the boss will be impressed. So these are the things these big corporations are doing. And then when you actually use it, it's not as good. And you'll see it. And I've seen it across, and it frustrates me because it all sounds good. In many cases, I'm willing to pay more money if I can get a better result. But the point is, there's not a possibility, right?
Join the community of creators who've reclaimed their creative freedom with Talking Photos V3. Click the link below to check out Don's exclusive bonuses if you buy through his link.